And he came up to our table and he started singing Happy Birthday. We had a friend from America. And I'm thinking, who's this guy singing Happy Birthday? But he was someone. And then, anyway, a few hours had passed and he's on the stage singing and the whole restaurant's clapping their hands, and it was your man from Duran Duran.
Simon Le Bon.
Yeah, and he was singing Duran Duran.
Yeah.
And I didn't even cop on. I said to the barman, can you imagine if Shane McGowan walks in these doors? Shane, the next 10 minutes later, walks straight through the doors and sits down next to me. He asked me if I wanted a drink. I froze, this is my hero. Couldn't take a drink off him, and then time had gone on again and he offered me another take. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Just had a chit chat with him, drank till 4 in the morning. I've got a picture of Shane sleeping on my arm, and they'd flown in, give me a wristband around 8 p.m. and they came in from Las Vegas, and we finished the set at 11, comes, gives us a hug and a shot, and then he's like, oh, I have to go, we're going back to Las Vegas. It's 3 hours in Ibiza,
Welcome to the Ibiza Hall of Fame podcast with myself, Clara, Griffin, and Big Al. Our next guest is widely known for his digital storytelling of real life of Ibiza. Beyond the parties with millions of views and global audience, he's turned everyday island life into a must-watch content. We proudly welcome into the Hall of Fame, Dwayne Muffin.
Hello, Dwayne, mate.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Hello, welcome.
Good to see you again after the IMS.
Yeah, the IMS was good for us. We enjoyed that. It was lots of good content.
It seems like, to me in my little brain, it seems like it was only 2 weeks ago.
It was the first week of the season. It was in April, wasn't it? Yeah. Now we're in the middle of June.
Yeah, I feel like panic stages get in now because, years ago the summer only started in first week, second week of June, and then we're going back 2 months ago, and here we are. So now I'm like, it feels like the summer's almost over, but it's only really getting started.
Yeah. No, we get that.
Can I just ask, Dwayne, what year did you first arrive in Ibiza?
I first came in 2008 on holiday. I had no intentions of going to Ibiza. All my mates wanted to book a lad's holiday. I've been travelling around Europe watching football for years, so I kind of had that experience from when I was 16 and I just didn't want to go. One of the lads crashed the car and then I decided to go in his place because he couldn't afford the holiday and fixing the car.
Right.
And then I kind of just got that San Antonio experience. I think I was 17, I turned 18, Lineker's Bar was just opening. I got the whole San Antonio West End sort of vibe. I went to maybe one club that year, but that was my first bite for it, and I got the appetite.
Yeah.
Amazing. And what year was that?
That was in 08. So
in 08.
I just turned 18, I think 2 days into the holiday.
Okay.
So, and when did you start? When did you the next year come back and stay, or how did it work out?
The next year I was in charge of booking the holiday, and I was like, we're going back to Ibiza. Then I went to Amnesia and got the proper experience. I think we went to Space, Cafe Mambo. Because for the first year, even though Cafe Mambo was right there, we were just drunk 18-year-olds who didn't really care about anything.
Yeah.
So we got this experience Ibiza better, and then when I got back home to Enniskillen, where I'm from, I was working in an office job and I kind of got depressed because I was just spent another week in Ibiza, and I was like, I want to do that. And I had met people who we kept in contact. Facebook was just a relatively new thing.
Yeah.
I could see their posts, and they'd be going to the Zoo Project on a Thursday or whatever it was at the time in Benamusa, and they'd be like Monday on a boat party, and I'm like sitting here in the office, and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And that's what I quit my job. I walked out of it that day, a week after I got back, and then they talked me into staying for another year, and then I knew once the summer started, I was there in May. First flight out of Dublin, I was like on it, airline.
So that's part of the question. One of the questions we ask about the magic of Ibiza. He obviously got you straight away. You loved it, and you couldn't wait to get back here and start doing some work, did you?
Yeah, I think growing up in the era that I grew up, obviously in the north of Ireland, that everyone's segregated into different, it's not as bad as it sounds, but you grow up and you start to hate people for various reasons, and then you got to Ibiza and there's all these different nationalities, all these different religions, and everyone's just getting on. And it just changed everything on the view of everything I had, because you're so caught up in it when you were a kid, because especially like 17, 18, then all of a sudden, you know, the old Irish English cliche, you get here and you meet so many English people and you're like,
and it just goes away, doesn't it? We're just people, aren't we?
Yeah, everyone's just people, and I think that's what Ibiza's always had, and that's what really changed it for me. You know, some of my best friends are from Scotland, all over England, all over the world now, essentially after 16 years, but that was kind of the selling point to me. I was like, there was no animosity between anyone.
Well, this island's always been good for that. There's always been plenty of love on this island. Obviously, the music and everything else, but you know, meeting different people on holiday. Most people are on holiday. You don't go on holiday to have the up with someone. You go on holiday to go and enjoy yourself. Yeah. So that you've got that atmosphere, and I get it that you wanted to keep that atmosphere and come back. I totally get that. Yeah,
it's amazing that and that's why I think there are a lot of problems in the world with everyone now, because they're stuck in their little environments and maybe don't have the chance to experience traveling. And they don't get to open up their eyes and see what's going on. And I think Ibiza is just this hub or melting pot of just lovely, crazy people, and nobody really cares who you are, what you're about.
Listen, I've been coming here, you know, a long time, since 1980, and what you said, it's the same from then as it is now. There's a mixture of people. Everyone's enjoying themselves.
Like growing up in Ireland, in my teens, you know, people would suss you out on what school you went to, or you know, and it was like you're on edge all the time. I'm sure it's not like that anymore, but then when you come to Ibiza, nobody cared about anything.
No one cares.
It's like, what club are you going to tonight?
It's a very accepting place, isn't it?
It's like everyone kind of talks through music or the clubs or the events, and that's why people really love it so much. Because
I was saying to my last guest, you know, and I've said many times, this industry is a big family. You know, a lot of these people we wouldn't have met without this dance music and stuff like that. I mean, yours is slightly different because you do, you know, you're more about the island, and you're doing, you know, your restaurants and bars and clubs. You do a little bit of everything. But there's a lot of love in this thing. There's a lot, you know, there's a lot of, you know, it's almost like a religion. It's almost like a religion.
I know, it's very rare that you meet people that come to Ibiza once and they never come back. You know, I feel like I have family here that I'll walk down the street today and I'll bump into somebody who'll feel like a best friend. Well, really, I've only met him once a year for the last 16 years, and it could be anyone. I'll be like, I remember you used to come here, and they come religiously year on year, and sometimes they might have had a partner, and sadly they've passed away. You remember the two. You're like, oh, how's such a person? They're like, oh, Dwayne, he's no longer with us. And but that times that over hundreds. So I'm never alone when I'm in Ibiza.
No, listen,
obviously the content helps.
Content you put out, I mean, your face is very recognisable.
I get recognised quite a bit, which is not a bad problem to have.
Well, it's a job you're doing, isn't it? It's a thing you're doing.
It was crazy. I remember when I was first introduced to vlogging through Henry Sarmentino, who has the Sonic Vista music studios. And he sat me down and he says, you need to be like this guy called Casey Neistat. And all he does is daily vlogs, cannot walk down the street in America, he just makes content out of nothing. And I was like, that's cool, but that'll never happen to me. And now it's like to the point where I can almost not walk down the street, or when I'm at events, I just have to talk to everyone, and you know, people want to take a picture, and it's amazing. It still baffles me. Like I don't know where the pictures go, but but it's really nice feeling when someone you've made someone's day from what video in my life, you know. I think people see that. I don't really.
It is a phenomenon. The media thing is a phenomenon, isn't it? I mean, it's changed a lot of people's lives.
I know. I guess what I'm doing could be hundreds of thousands of people's dreams, but it's just a day in a life for me, and that's kind of what I try to replicate.
You do it in a relaxed manner, and you know, you're doing it in your style, and that, you know, that's the reason why
I pick and choose when I do it. Unfortunately, I'm not as consistent, but I'm going to try and get back on it today.
So what made you start creating content for social media?
To be honest,
what's the idea behind it?
When I was working at a place called 06 West Cafe Mambo Shop, and we were selling tickets, and I was trying to figure out ways to get people to the store away from being on the street. But in those days there was no way of doing that because Facebook was relatively new, Instagram hadn't been released, and Twitter was big. So I set up a Twitter, I called it Ibiza Club News, and we would leak any information that we would know from behind the scenes.
Right.
And it grew to like 150,000 followers.
Amazing.
And then from that we were able to get a big following on Facebook and Instagram. And the whole goal behind that was to just get people to come to our store. And the boys used to slag me like, oh, you're always on your phone. And I was like, this will pay dividends in a few years. But it's only really taken off, and that's 15 years of posting every day. And only the last couple of years now I'm like, oh, that was working. But on the flip side of that, it's so accessible to everyone. I'm no longer the only person creating content in Ibiza, so it's so impossible to keep up with it. And I see the younger content creators, they have way more enthusiasm. They're going to all the club nights, where I'm like you said, I'm happy just to go to the restaurants and finish my night after sunset. I just got a cat recently, so my life's dramatically changing. But I do want to go to the clubs a bit more. But you know, I went to Amnesia last Monday to see Katima, and it cost me about 3 days. So it's trying to find that
the balance.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's loads of restaurants and bars on this island to cover, for sure. You know.
But then there's only so many you can eat in one day. When I'm good, I just go. I'm gonna be doing 2 restaurants a day, and then it's not sustainable. I'm like, whoa, I need to chill out, otherwise I'll pile on the weight.
Yeah, no, I get that. I like a bit of good food myself.
Yeah, but you want it to be authentic. Like, you don't want to be like just putting the content out there to get the money. And I'm very picky on where I go, like, because it falls back on me. If I do a video and 150,000 people watch it, and they get bad service or bad food, then I get it in the neck.
It reflects.
And it's very rare that happens because I'm very picky and choosy. So if a restaurant asks me and I'm like, keep the money, it's like, I know it sounds really stupid, but I'm just like, that's going to fall back on me.
But you're choosing the ones you actually...
I try and work a deal or choose the ones that I want to promote. Generally have a good load of restaurants that I know is good. Like, I know most restaurants are good, but there's also ones that like pop up and I'm like,
relevant to this conversation we're having, what is your favourite restaurant or restaurants?
My favourite restaurant in Ibiza? Wow. I think in terms of view, Al Carmen, which is just off Cala de Hort, it's got the view of Esfedra. I go there for a paella. My favourite restaurant on the island is just outside up the road, Sasaka.
I know.
It's a family-run restaurant.
Lovely, Spanish food.
50 years old. That's just somewhere I love to go because they're like a family. I go in there, I get hugs and kisses.
It's got its own car park on that road there.
It's just authentic. That's Ibiza. And then third, romantic date or something. I think David at Amante. Have you been to David's restaurant?
It's Dave Piccioni's place, isn't it?
Dave Piccioni's place, just attention to detail.
Well, it's a nice setting with the cliffs.
That's a treat. I try and go there once or twice a year. It's not expensive, but it's...
Food good there? I haven't eaten there.
Yeah, lovely. David's a perfectionist, so it's always on point, service is on point, and just the view is breathtaking. But you can't get a table because it's always pretty much fully.
Well, they've got more tables now down the long bit.
But I don't think David has any problems with getting that restaurant full. He always squeezes me in, which I'm grateful for.
Because the actual inside bit's quite small, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the outdoor area. It's the alfresco is the good bit, isn't it?
But that's a unique thing. I think that's why a lot of the celebrities tend to go there, because there's limited tables, so there's no... And it's quiet. It's not
well, it's away from everything, isn't it?
No hustle and bustle. There's no people with their napkins on screaming and shouting like some of the places in Formentera.
And so we spoke about restaurants, beaches. You must go to the beach occasionally. Maybe not.
I mean, I know all the beaches in Ibiza, but
do you have a favourite
my
one?
ADHD doesn't allow me to sit for long. But no, if I had a favourite beach, I really like Cala Salada in San Antonio, just because it is so accessible. It's near
Jason Bicep.
Yeah, I mean, when you walk up the top and see those turquoise waters, there's one restaurant, and it's not far from San Antonio, and I like to remember that this is absolutely stunning.
I've lived up that part in the past, Cap Negrete.
That'd be the one that I always go to, just because I don't like straying too far. I love Calacompta, but it's so busy. And then further up the north, I like Esfiguerel, which is completely tranquil. There's never anyone up there. That's where George Michael done the scene on the beach for the whole Hotel Tropicana video. So that'd be my top 3 there. But so many beaches, like Cala Verde.
There are a lot, because there's a lot of coves, isn't there, on this island?
I mean, if you go Cala de Hort, you don't. That's a picture. So, but again, it's so hard to get parking, and it's very, very busy.
I've come up with an idea. Next time because I come out here to work a lot, but next time I'm going to come on holiday, I'm going to do it from the sea. I'm going to get a catamaran with a group of friends, and we're going to just go around the island, drop it off at all the restaurants and beaches. That'd be a great trip.
Lovely day, I was on a yacht the other week. We done that. We were in Calatrava, and that's stunning in itself. And we got the food in from Cotton Beach Club, and it was a great experience.
Did you ever go to Formentera?
Yeah.
It's lovely over there.
Yeah, I've been to Formentera quite a few times. I'm actually due a visit. I haven't been since last year. Sadly, every time I go to Formentera, it always seems to rain. It rains 2 days of the year, and I've been 3 times I'm there.
Wow.
But no, I like Formentera, but for an Irishman, it's a dangerous place because there's no hiding from the sun. So
there's not much shade, is there? No, there's not much.
But when you go on a boat day or Juan Andrea, it's like,
Food's fantastic.
The last time I went to Formentera, there was a guy, and he came up to our table and he started singing Happy Birthday. We had a friend from America. And I'm thinking, who's this guy singing Happy Birthday? But he was someone. And then, anyway, a few hours had passed and he's on the stage singing, and the whole restaurant's clapping their hands, and it was your man from Duran Duran.
Simon Le Bon.
Yeah, and he was singing Duran Duran, and I didn't even cop on. I just thought this guy could sing, guitarist, great. It wasn't until I got back home and I'd put something on my story of just being in the restaurant, and then my mate was like, chances of you being in the restaurant at the same time as Duran Duran, and I was like, that's who that was. I was with a full table of Americans, so none of them knew either. And it wasn't until I started seeing all the videos. So I had a video and I put it on my YouTube, and I think it might have went viral, but at the time I had no idea who it was.
Brilliant. I mean, that restaurant is particularly nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that on a few occasions. It's very expensive, but very nice. Yeah,
I've seen Messi and Suarez and all them people going, and I kind of always wanted to go, but never thought I'd be able to afford or justify going there. And then I met some really lovely Americans who had a lot more money than me, and they brought me on a yacht day. And we had a lot of food there, and brought me to Leo. Again, through YouTube. A couple of guys wanted to hang out, and
fantastic.
I haven't seen them since.
But they had a good time. You had a good time, and they had a good time. That's what matters on this island.
Yeah, it was good. But that's the thing with Ibiza. There is so many mad stories like that when you go back home at Christmas, people would just laugh at me, and I'm like, no, it did happen. So that's why one of the reasons I started doing more videos, because I mean, how many people have I interviewed or been in videos with, and now the lads back home are like, maybe he wasn't bullshitting.
What would you say to anyone who's never been to Ibiza before, if they wanted to come here they didn't have a big budget, so they can't really afford the really expensive clubs or whatever, but maybe they'll go to like one club?
I think you need to come and see it to believe it. I think a lot of people have that perception of Ibiza, mostly is, it's just clubbing. I don't like clubbing, so I won't come to Ibiza. But you have the best yoga retreats, fitness retreats, everything going on. You can go hiking, and not grueling hikes, but see these stunning
there's some
places.
lovely walks in the
how many people
in the
come?
pine forest. It's beautiful, isn't it?
So I think just get rid of the view.
So if someone was an outdoor person and they wanted to go on long walks, hikes,
there's loads of that here.
What would you where would you recommend for them to go?
I mean, a lot of I've covered a lot of hiking videos. One of my most favourite hike is Satyalia, which is the highest point of the island. So you kind of get a 360 view.
Nice.
That's actually where I met my girlfriend as well, and we're together now 2 years. But you go up there just before sunrise, and then you get to see the whole 360 reviews, and nearly always there's never any clouds in the sky, but whatever reason, when you get up there, even if there is clouds in the sky, you always get just this perfect sunrise.
Amazing.
I mean, you can do it for sunset as well, but it's pretty grueling to get up there in the heat. I love Sespalandes as well. It's in San Agustin. Not San Agustin. I've had a blank there. San Agustin. No, San Agustin's here. Sespalandes. It's a little bit outside San Antonio, and it's like you hike along in the flat, but you come to the edge, and it's just this huge drop, and you have to then climb down the rocks. It's a tough one. There's so many. Those are two of my favorites. Just, I'm kind of one of those people. If I like something, I do it again and again and again. Whereas other people will be like, "Oh, you should explore more." But I have explored so many. I mean, if you look at my YouTube, that's all I done through COVID. Like, it was just literally all you could do.
Yeah. COVID must have been a weird time for everybody. It was for everybody, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been coming here since 1980s. Only 2 years I didn't turn up, and one of those years was COVID.
Yeah.
So because I couldn't come.
I think I was one of the only people like creating content. I think that's what made me actually blossom on YouTube, because nobody knew what was happening, and there was me walking around with the camera. We were videoing everything from walking from the supermarket, because that's all you could do. Then we started to speak to the town hall in San Antonio, and they gave us a little bit of access, so we started filming the beaches opening. We were getting millions of hits just through that period, and looking back on it, it was horrible for everyone, but probably what really made me, I lost everything. Like, I couldn't afford the house I was staying in, so I ended up staying in my friend's shop. He had a room upstairs, so I didn't have to pay for rent, so all I had to do was make content, and then YouTube would monetize it. Now, the monetization wasn't great, but it was enough to survive in Ibiza when nothing was bloody open. So I had a great time. Absolutely loved that. I know I was harsh on a lot of other people.
Oh, the businesses really suffered out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, Matutis always wanted to buy out that Juan from Jose from Privilege, and because it was shut, gave him the chance to buy him out, and now we've got Universe.
Yeah. I mean, I'd met with Jose quite a few times in that era, because
he wasn't my.
He wanted to open.
He wasn't my favourite person.
I don't know him well enough, but I know he wanted to open because he had access to the roof, which was an open air venue technically, and he had the kitchen, and the laws was you could open if you were an open air venue and had access to serve food. I'd met with him, and then all that changed. Universe became what it is.
He finally sold out to Matutis, didn't he? Because Matutis owned nearly half of it. I think it was 49-51 or something, and then finally he gave up to Matutis.
Oh, I don't know the ins and outs, but I mean, and they have done a great job with it. Like,
I always said that when Matutis took it over, he would turn it into what it should be again, and he has. He's made it.
It is an incredible venue. I just didn't expect them to do so much with there being so many residence areas around, to run 7 nights a week with that amount of people, and I was shocked.
Well, you got to remember, it was open air when I first started.
What year was that?
I started doing parties in the late 80s, but when I started doing a weekly, I was the first one to do weeklies. It was 1990. I was the first promoter on the island, someone doing something different. The format of today is my blueprint of coming over, taking on a night, getting the people in. So that I am the sort of the blueprint of today. That's how it all started. I did through the peak. I did all the clubs every week. So I'll be doing on a Monday. I started in Koo on Mad Mondays, and when Koo's roof got blown off in 1991, didn't open. We got asked to go to Pacha, so we did Pacha for a few years, and then the same year I started Esparadis on a Thursday. Then we started doing Wednesdays at Amnesia, then we did Summer. We were doing, I mean, there was no one else here. I was the only one. Me and Tommy were the only ones.
Alan was the first independent promoter to come on this island.
That's
set up
amazing.
party. Yeah.
So, and although most of those clubs were open air back then.
Yeah. No, I had a fair idea, but I didn't know like you were one of the first.
Yeah.
I think one of
You must have seen some changes.
I've seen some huge things. For me, the biggest change on the island, well, for the better, the biggest change is all the fabulous restaurants.
Yeah.
You know, as I'm an older person, I can afford to go to some of these restaurants, and the food is magnificent now. Really is.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some good Spanish restaurants back in the day, but it was very different than it is today. I mean, Sacapella was always one of the best restaurants on the island.
Yeah.
You know, so and there was a few, but not to what it is today. You know, there are so many.
Do you think they were there, but you just didn't maybe?
No, I went everywhere.
You went everywhere.
I lived there.
Because I create content, I find it surprising when I'll post something and it might be about Nassau Beach Club. Someone's like, "Oh my God, Ibiza's changed," and I'm like, "Well, no, I was going to Nassau Beach Club 16 years ago." So I feel like there are a lot of places that were there 20 years ago, because I think Nassau are 20 years old.
Yeah.
I'm just using that as an example. But because it hasn't been amplified on social media, a lot of regular people just didn't know about it. So now the eyes are on the world or watching Ibiza, and it looks like this whole flamboyant VIP only culture. And I'm like, no, these places have been open for 20 years. They've all been there.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a lot more.
I mean,
now.
one of my favourite restaurants is El Chiringuito on Escabelet.
Yeah.
And before Jonathan made it into like the real sort of beautiful VIP restaurant it is now, there was a French lady that owned it and ran it, and it was my drop-off point, you know, for the people doing the beaches for me. And I'd have lunch there. You know, it's one of my spots that I always loved.
Would that have been a focal point for clubbers then? Because I just don't feel like
Not for clubbers, no. The whole thing's changed, isn't it? I mean, it would have been holiday makers and stuff like that back in those days.
Yeah.
When you say clubbers, 1990, I've said this a lot on my podcast. When I put say 6,000-7,000 people in Koo, all the other clubs were empty because there was not enough tourism.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So at the weekends it was a bit busier because the Spanish came out, but literally from say late 80s to round about 93, honestly, if I put 6,000 in Pachá, all the others are empty.
Oh, okay.
Because the flights only came in from England on a weekend and a Wednesday. There weren't flights every day. There weren't, there was no mobile phones. There was no internet. It was completely different. It's evolved so much more now. And now they fly in for a day, don't they?
Yeah.
I wonder how much the tourist stats
2
are.
hours. I've met DJs. Sorry to interrupt, but I've met DJs who come in and they're 2 hours and then they're away.
They've gone right off again.
They're off again. Wow. It seems to be like that now these days,
I remember
doesn't
last year I went to have a bit of a relationship with Martin Garrix, and they'd flown in, give me a wristband around 8 p.m. and they came in from Las Vegas, and he finished the set at 11, comes, gives us a hug and a shot, and then he's like, oh, I have to go, we're going back to Las Vegas. It's like 3 hours in Ibiza, like from Las Vegas to Las Vegas. That just blows my mind.
Yeah.
But that's a long old journey.
And then from there, he'd probably go on somewhere the next day and the next day, right? Yeah. Continuous.
That's probably about 20 hours because it probably has to change, don't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how some of them DJs survive. Imagine like David Guetta's doing that twice a week in Ibiza, and where else is he playing?
Well, yeah, I think he's probably sells. He does so many gigs here. There's the 2 a week here.
Yeah, he still seems to be active everywhere else.
Yeah, in the summer months, the busy part of the summer months, he probably does his schedule around the Ibiza schedule.
I think some people just have a certain work ethic. Some people just thrive on the adrenaline. And
I mean, if we get $500,000, it's not bad.
Yeah, I guess it's the motivation of the
I'd
money.
definitely get out of bed for that.
So you don't know my history, but my the likes of Cole Cox, all them people. I was the one brought them on. Brandon Block, Alex Peel. There are people that come and DJ for me, basically. That's
amazing.
how it all started.
So, like Brandon Block, Alex P, all those guys would be sort of, Fergie, all that kind of that's my sound. Clockwork's one of my favourite weeks of the year.
Oh, Danny and Andy, they're friends of mine. And
I've done a bit of content with Danny.
Yeah, no,
mad as a brush.
No, listen, them guys are doing a good job. It's a renaissance of the dance music from the 90s, basically. That's what it is. they're doing a good job of that.
Yeah, Danny can tell a few stories.
Yeah.
I'd love to have seen him in them days. He's still pretty crazy.
He was, yeah, he's like all of us. We were all nuts. Yeah, you got to be a bit nuts to come and do what we did on this island.
How many parties a year do Clockwork do on this island now?
Oh, they only do the week. They do
the 1 week, but I think
they do the 1 week.
Five
events. Parties, yeah.
Right.
Like Cova Santa, Tanit.
The beach.
Tanit's not a party. But
it's not allowed to be called a party.
Yeah. And then a couple of boat parties and
a Cafe Mambo, and Cafe Del Mar.
Yeah.
They do things.
It seems like a lot of the parties. I think there's the
slip back as well.
That's another one, right?
A very early one.
Yeah, that's
it's always very busy.
Yeah, I never got a chance to go this year. They did ask me, and it's just like you said, it was pretty early, and I was like, this is not a last thing. And then you've got something next week, which is similar to it, Street Rave, which is Ricky McGowan from Glasgow. So next week at Bambuku and a few places like Plastic, to bring all the old school sort of Glaswegians, and that's another good fun party. So I obviously spend a lot of time in Glasgow, so that's kind of where I'll be next week for that.
Amazing.
I'm dreading it.
You probably have like a community of people that went to these parties earlier on, so they're waiting for that week to come to Ibiza for them to, you know.
Yeah, what you get with the likes of Clockwork, Slipmat, and Street Rave is the older generation that would be coming to Ibiza, so they either get someone to look after the kids and they're here for that blowout, or the kids are coming with them now.
Yeah, because they want to experience.
With Clockwork, I meet so many people because they obviously follow me, and that
all
seems
those
to be
people,
my audience.
most of those people were here in the 90s as a younger person going mad.
Yeah. Now they're coming.
And now they're coming back for the nostalgia. It's great.
But they're coming with the 21-year-old daughters and sons.
And there's a new phenomenon in London now, or in England, or probably around the world, where a lot of these guys are doing parties, and what they do, they start at 1 o'clock on a Saturday, and they finish by 9 and 10. So they're reunion. They do like the old Camden Palace, which is called Coco now, and Clockwork do it. You know, and it's a daytime party, and so it's easy. They get babysitters. They go back, and
I think
works.
like there could be a knock-on effect that, you know, you have these people from Clockwork who just live and breathe Ibiza, telling their young people about it, and then insisting that they have to come. And now that Ibiza's getting a little bit more expensive, and you know, hotels are $200-300 a night, club tickets, I think Calvin Harris is €185 to go on Ushuaia, and I'm worried that might turn away the younger people, and then in 10 years' time.
Listen, you know as well as I do.
I know
you can get a cheap holiday. If you wanted a cheap holiday, you can eat in a normal restaurant. It's horses for courses. If you want to, if you got a budget, you have to go by your budget, don't you?
That's true. I think with
this island's never been cheap.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I mean, I you got to remember, I came back here from the 80s, and I remember going into in Koo before I was doing parties and stuff like that. And it was like £5 a drink, and it was like £5 a drink. I think a pint of beer at home was like 70 odd pence.
Well, the funny thing when you mention that, when I went to Amnesia in 2009, which was 15 years ago, a beer was €12, and I went on Monday night, and the beer was €12. So when people do complain about, I know other clubs have a wee bit higher price, but generally speaking, the drinks prices are.
Well, the good thing the clubs have finally done, they're doing the buy the drinks in advance thing. Yeah, and it's a lot cheaper, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's mad cheaper. €40 for.
Do any hotels do the all-inclusive? Was it really hard for
there was a period with the all-inclusive.
I can imagine people want to have an all-inclusive hotel so they can have their drinks at the hotel and not need to spend so much when they go to the venue.
But it's not good for the island, though.
It's not good, because then
the local businesses don't do
the local businesses suffer, and then unfortunately a lot of the local businesses in Ibiza have I don't want to say bad attitude, but I have an attitude of, why are we not busy because there's so many tourists? But then somebody with a bit more young blood knows how to run social media marketing and get in people like me and throw out a few videos, and suddenly you have 500,000 people watching this new restaurant that's just opened, and then one of the best restaurants that are just being too stubborn. They've never needed advertising, and they're very in their ways, and they won't advertise, and and then they get shut down because, you know, a lot of restaurants are like that.
Life moves on, doesn't it? And then you got to go with the times, haven't you?
You know, look at the West End, for example. You know, that was a place of everybody used to go there, and I'd say, no disrespect to any of the people in the West End, but they probably don't spend a lot of money on marketing because they never had to.
There's a little bit more going on.
There is more
going on with the West End. They've changed the West End, and they wanted to take away the sort of, you know, the excessive drinking and stuff like that. I get that.
I know, but if you have places outside promoting heavily on paid ads and whatnot, and it just becomes a popular place, unfortunately through social media, then these cool places that me and you know start to get unheard of, because the word of mouth thing's kind of, it's like, what's the hottest party? Like, unfortunately, that the flip side of that is kids are going to these parties because it's the best party to go to. They can't get in, and it's terrible, and then they go and we had the worst night of our life, it was too busy, and then they go back again the next time.
I've got a story about being too busy. I mean, you know, at one point Pachal was the best club in the world, all through the sort of beginning to the you know, late 90s. It was the best club in the world, and I remember going in there one night, probably in the 2000s, around there, and I think Swedish House Mafia were playing. And I got through the door, walked about 10 yards, and I couldn't get any further. Yeah. And I thought, no, I'll just walk back out again.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Pasha with like 5,000, 6,000 possibly, you can move around still. As soon as you put 7,000 plus, you can't move. It's impossible. It ruins it. It absolutely ruins it.
For me now, I'm a bit of that. I'm at that age now where daytime parties suit me more because it finishes early. Like I said, going to Amnesia on Monday, I was coming out and the sunrise was coming up, and obviously we didn't go home. We went down to Camberfee with all the promoters and had a couple of drinks. It was 11 o'clock before I got home, and I can't.
You can't do any work then. You can't do any work, can you?
I'm 36 2 days ago, and I know I'm young, but no work gets done. It takes 2 or 3 days to recover. So the daytime events is where I'm sort of swaying to. You know, 5 to 8. What Andy and the guys are doing there with Pike Presents. And
5 to 8 open.
5 to 8.
Last year, didn't it?
No, 5 to 8 was opened COVID year.
COVID year.
But it wasn't what it is now.
It was like a big
dinner
promotion from last year, though, didn't
they opened as a dinner experience and show, sort of like Leo. And then that kind of changed, and then I think the appetite there was to bring it back to what it used to be, and they're only really using a part of it at the minute, but it's just, I went there the other night, I forgot about it, but I went there for local days the other night. It's just like, I like space. I like being able to sit in the loungers, go for a beer, walk around, rather than being condensed.
It's the old style, outdoors partying.
Yeah, that's
what it is. I mean, so you must like Cova Santa, you know, Destino, all those places where you can party during the evening.
I'm not the biggest fan of Destino, and I don't know why. It's an amazing venue, but
it doesn't do it for you, no?
Cova Santa, absolutely love it. I was there the other week with my friend. He's a French DJ, and he was playing, and I was thinking, is it going to work? Because it was a full French lineup. We got there and it was just all French people, and I was like, fair play, he pulled it off. But he had that big of a presence that he was able to bring a lot of people over, but we ended up having food in Cova Santa.
I've got a story about the French. I mean, I've done parties over for donkey's years, and one year Brasilio said to me, "Oh, you got to share the night." I said, "I'd share the night. I've never shared a night with anyone." And he said, "You got to share it with the French." And I said, "What are you talking about? Share the night?" I said, "What, DJs as well?" He went, "Yeah, DJs as well." And I went, "Oh God." I said, "What DJs?" And he went, "Laurent Garnier and Daft Punk." I went, "All right, I'll have them." So one of the best nights we've done, I've done it with the French guys, and
I mean, if you got them two on the lineup now, you're selling 10,000 tickets.
It was full. There was 10,000 people in Privilege. Yeah, it was completely full. I mean, on my lineup, I had Terry Farley and John Marsh from The Beloved. I think I'm Rocky and Diesel, I can't remember now. But I had a good lineup anyway, and adding those French guys was unbelievable. Yeah. So I've got that.
That's amazing.
French DJ thing.
We're getting the butterfly season.
I know. I was just thinking, where's the butterfly coming from? That's not.
This one likes me.
Well, there's about 1,000 there in the garden. There's everywhere today. That's another thing. Like, Ibiza has this just. I know you can get
It's a beautiful
butterflies.
island,
You can
isn't
get
it?
butterflies anywhere, but because there's just so much countryside, like I mean, where I live is just rabbits, like butterflies, like all the wildlife.
What you said earlier, that people think that Ibiza is just this mad clubbing island.
Yeah.
But there's so much more.
I mean, walking to Salinas on a good day, and you get to see hundreds of flamingos. And the natural park has got so much nature and so much history as well. Like just going back in your era, but if you go further back, and
the other day we did Aura. Do you know about the lady that does the magazine, the comic magazine?
Oh,
She's been doing history.
Yeah.
Through a comic
She had reached out to me a few times, but you know what? I'm like trying to get a hold of.
You should because she's fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't realise. I'd never met her before. She sat down and she's done the first book is like pre-human Ibiza right up to 1979, and so she catches the sort of beginning of Alfredo, Amnesia. She begins Coup with Brasilio, so she gets that. But the next book, which you should, is the dance industry era.
Yeah, I must reach out to her. I went on a few back and forths with her, and but I get asked all day to do videos.
It's special what she's doing. It's quite special.
Yeah, and it's hard to say I'm going to do that because it's a lot of time for me to go around.
She really just wants to have a chat with you. That's really much it.
Also, she might put you in one of the comic books.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I must reach out to her.
She's doing different generations.
Yeah, I spoke to her back and forth a few times, but I forget so quickly. I open a message and then the next message comes through, and then I'm like, 2 weeks down the line, I'm like, somebody mentions someone, I go, I didn't reply to them. Or you meet them on the street and you're like, I'm so sorry.
She animated me. She presented me with something in the podcast. I was chuffed to bits. There was a picture of me with all the stuff I'd done. She'd done the research.
She
gave me a framed picture of me animated with all the stuff I'd ever done in Ibiza.
Yeah, that's cool. Must get her contact off you when we finish.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she's definitely worth speaking with. Her history is amazing. Yeah, about this island.
So, you asked some music questions?
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, what have been your most memorable moments? Or do you have any sort of like stories, any wild stories that you
Memorable moments? I think there's been so many, it's hard to pinpoint, but I think one of the best moments I'd ever had was when, you must know punk music, I met Shane McGowan from the Pogues.
The Pogues, yeah.
Obviously being a huge Irish music fan. One of my friends, Marty, had said that he had met Shane McGowan in the north of the island and they were playing music together. And we were like, Marty, whatever. And we were like, tell Shane to come down to San Antonio. And of course, Marty's like, he's coming down tomorrow night he's coming down. We were all having a laugh and a joke, and I said to the barman, can you imagine if Shane McGowan walks in these doors? Shane, 10 minutes later, walks straight through the doors and sits down next to me. He asked me if I wanted to wanted a drink. I froze, like this is my hero. I couldn't take a drink off him, and then time had gone on again and he offered me another drink. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Just had a chit chat with him, drank till 4 in the morning. I've got a picture of Shane sleeping on my arm. I used to be notorious for falling asleep in bars in those days. And then we went to another bar at 4 in the morning, and I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember even saying goodbye. And then the other day I was speaking to a good friend of mine, Billy O'Rafferty, and he'd told me the whole story of how Shane had came to Ibiza, and I said to Billy, I met him that night. And he went, he was with his manager, and Billy said, not at all, that wasn't his manager. I said, no, there was a guy in a tuxedo. He was like, that's Shane. He met that guy on a flight. He had no money and all he had was a suitcase with him. So he'd obviously told everyone, tell everyone you're his manager. And I remember phoning my dad that day and like crying because you as an Irish person, you've never,
your hero.
You know, the significance of when he passed away. It was like, the significance of a state funeral, sort of like Johnny Depp was carrying a coffin. Like it was like one of the best singers, well, maybe not one of the best singers, but poets, songwriters. Yeah. And just a legend.
Oh, he was a talent. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
And you still hear his songs every day, especially on
the Christmas song. I tear
up when I hear it for the first time every year, but that was like And it's just like we talked about, a story that people would not really register with Ibiza. Certainly I wouldn't think.
No, but it happened here, didn't it? It happened
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meeting your hero. You don't meet your hero every day, do you?
Yeah.
That's a nice thing.
And I've been in places where I've just missed the likes of Paul McCartney in a restaurant just about a year or two ago.
Okay.
My friend was like that, and then you see the world's most Ronaldo, the original Brazilian Ronaldo, just walking through San Antonio. I'm like, where else in the world would that happen?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Elton John perform down at Mambo and at the 123 Sting, Lenny Kravitz.
You like this one? So back in the 80s, prior to Acid House and all that, we met George Best on the beach.
Really?
Lovely fella, yeah.
Wow.
And we got to know him after that trip, and then he had a bar in London, and we used to go to his bar. So yeah, I mean, one of the best footballers ever lived, George Best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I crossed paths with Callum a few times, but never really spoke to him about
I know his mum, yeah.
Yeah, what a guy.
There's a lady that lived on the island for years and years, who went out with George for years as well. We called them the two Angies. So he met Angie Best was his wife, and then there was Angie Lynn, who he went out with for years as well. And Angie Lynn is a friend of ours, and she's lived on this island for years and years and years.
Wow.
I think her daughter still lives here. She's born here and she lives here.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially when you're in the north. You just could be sat next to anyone. I think that was the whole essence of what Ibiza was. Still is to a degree, but you could be like a bricklayer from a town in Ireland stood next to King of Saudi, next to the biggest.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've obviously met.
I mean, can you imagine? I used to do my own door to make sure I wasn't getting ripped off by the club. So I was on the door most of the time. So, there was every celebrity coming into Pachar, and, but from Mick Hucknall to Boris Becker, I mean, they're all coming. They're all coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's even more so like that now, over here now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Our friend Uli, he looks after, for years, he looked after a lot of those kind of people.
Yeah.
We did a podcast with him recently, and he spoke about that, the celebrity side of stuff.
Yeah, certainly on Formentera and more the higher end restaurants that are off the beaten track.
They're often stand on boats, aren't they?
Yeah, they'll come in on the skipper. We were in Estorrent the other day for my birthday, and I just kept seeing groups of people coming off yachts. I hadn't a clue who any of them were, but obviously they're doing all right if they've got a couple of yachts.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I like. I always liked about Ibiza. Like you could just, you like you said, there's no point in having a plan, and it's the hardest thing to do for me is create content. Why haven't you done any videos, Dwayne? I'm like, I can't plan anything because it goes out the window within 5 minutes and you're getting in the car. Someone will phone you and say, do you want to do this? And I'm like, oh.
The plans change a lot on this island. Even this week here, we had these ones set up, and someone suddenly has to fly off the island because he has to go and play somewhere else. So everything changes.
I think one of the funniest stories I've ever seen was a couple of years ago. Graham Sahara.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, and I think Charlie Chester posted a similar post. But someone said, I can't believe I just seen Graham Sahara walking through Amnesia car park with his shopping. And he's like, he'd only gone out to get milk and bread, and he's ended up at Amnesia opening with his shopping.
With his shopping.
And Charlie had posted something was like, has anyone seen my wife? And it just went like, Ibiza viral, and it was just like, you could go out for a coffee and end up on the back of the yacht.
They're the good nights.
Yeah.
The ones that weren't planned. That's happened a million times.
Yeah, the most dangerous thing to say in Ibiza is, I'm just going out for one to take it easy, because then it spirals.
Well, you meet people and things change, don't they, constantly on this
Especially
island.
for me, when everyone recognises
me.
It
brings me to the thing where the guys are coming out here for 3 days. They planned every night, every restaurant, every bar.
No,
it's not the way, is it? It's not the way.
It's not.
Because there's so much to offer this island.
A lot of the clubs marketing now is like sold out, and you're like, it doesn't really sell out, but so it kind of has that scare factor. Or we really want to go to that night, but like if you're a group of 5 lads and you're like, right, buy your tickets for Universe tonight, and you've paid whatever €500 between the 5 of you, and then you meet a group of girls in the pool at the hotel, and they're going to Pasha. So all of a sudden, they want to go with them, so they're stuck with all these tickets, and I just think it's so better just to be spontaneous.
I mean, back in my day, there were particularly good nights that if you missed it, you missed the whole thing what was going on. Now, there are so many nights going on, so many, DJs, so many, things going on. That
I know people that organise, I've got people messaging me organising restaurants for next year. Like, I don't know what I'm doing after I walk out of this villa. What is going on? I know other people are a lot different than me, but at the same time, I won't pack from my bag until I'm an hour before getting on the flight. So people are different, but I think just in the essence of Ibiza, just get here, figure it all out. If there's one night you really want to go to, it might sell out, buy that ticket, but this whole itinerary. The people send me their itineraries, and it's like at 11 o'clock we're going to go for breakfast, and at 1 p.m. we need picked up, and we're going to do this, and I'm like,
that all gets mucked up as well because of the traffic.
Where's the enjoyment of that? Having I get it, but having a Mercedes Vito, you go to some of these high-end places, they have 24 hours Mercedes Vito ready to pick them up. If you have the money to do that, that's great.
It's great,
but it's also great getting lost down a thing, trying to find a taxi and
or
hitchhiking with some random
discovering
guy.
some bar that you've never seen before, or I think that
happened to us on Monday, trying to get a taxi back from Amnesia, because we left Amnesia and went to Cambufi. And it was like rush hour.
Oh, listen,
time.
I was at a party at Sands when it was when Nassau was called Sands before. Come off the beach there. Couldn't get a taxi, saved some money. I walked way back to Ibiza town. It's not so far, but it's still a trek. It's still a trek.
Some of the best days are one of the reasons I don't like going to villa parties is just because
getting home,
getting caught, and then it's dangerous walking. But once you're kind of stuck there.
You're stuck there.
They call me Houdini because I have the ability to disappear, and if I want to disappear, I'll disappear. But when you're in a villa party, it's very dangerous walking home, especially at night. So kind of don't really know my limits.
Absolutely. Let's talk about music, because over the years you live in here.
You go to the clubs.
So many anthems that you've heard, and
is there certain tracks that stuck in your head?
Yeah, there are certain songs that you just love. I'm
just going to be really cliche, but I was big into the sort of Ibiza anthems like Lange, Follow Me, from that Kevin and Perry era. Cosmic Gate, I guess. Ferry Corsten, System F. I know it sounds really bad, but
no, it doesn't sound bad. They're your choice. They're your choice.
Something like Paul Van Dyke, Foreign Angel, or Cafe Del Mar, those stereotypical. That's kind of for me. That just signals Ibiza. But
that's what it's your favourites. That's what we're saying. The early DJs. So we had Jason By on earlier.
I mean, Jason will know every track under the song.
but these first track was Plastic Dreams, the same as Brandon's Plastic Dreams, because it reminds them of that very early scene in Ibiza, and that just brings it all back to them. The music can do that to you.
Kings of Tomorrow and Julie Knight, that just gets that's Ibiza for me. But if I had more time just to set, I could rhyme off loads of tracks. I think I'm very good with my track selection. That's how I got so many views through Instagram. But
Are there any tracks that give you goosebumps when you hear it?
Lange, Follow Me.
Okay.
Follow Me. It's just Amnesia Main Room.
Right. It sends you back to that.
It's when I post those videos, it's 1 million views. Because everyone of my age sort of clicks with it. But also Paul Johnson, Get Down. Depends on the mood,
I love
You're driving
that
through Ibiza at a semi-fast speed and you've got that on. It's I mean, so many. But it is the.
Can you imagine for the DJs? We ask them that question. It's so tough.
Oh God.
They've actually got
Jason.
It's like choosing one of their babies, isn't it?
Jason, how many years is he at Mambo? 30 plus.
Yeah, he's been there since 1994.
I love Jason, but in terms, and that's why I say out of all the biggest DJs in the world, I just think Jason is probably up there with all of them. Like just
He's such a lovely fella.
experience, and
He is.
seen him play at every different type of venue. One minute he's playing at Mambo, then he goes to Pikes, and it's just a whole different. He just nails it every time.
We gave him today. We gave him two options. Both he could do the dance music, and he did the sunset music as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was great because he does two jobs. Two different jobs, doesn't he? Yeah, with the sunset and everything.
Yeah. ABBA's getting a lot of airtime this year for some
Is
reason.
it? Oh, don't.
Every
I mean, the
DJ.
only one I've ever danced to, I think, was maybe Dancing Queen.
I do love ABBA. I love ABBA. I went to their museum.
Yeah, I've seen it being dropped all over. Ushuaia, like.
Oh, really?
Oh, David Guetta will put a remix to anything, wouldn't he? I'm surprised.
Yeah, he mixes a lot, doesn't he?
What about DJs? Have you got any favourite DJs?
I think.
Other than Jason.
No, like I really like I said earlier, like Fergie, Tall Paul, 717, that sort of Brandon Block,
Jeremy
Alex
Healy,
P,
that kind of guys. Yeah.
But,
Or clockworky kind of.
yeah,
Good,
but I've seen. I also love Eats Everything because he's just a cracking guy.
Yeah, we're going to do him. He said, he said yes.
He's just such a fun guy, and he's one of those DJs. I've met him all over the world, and if he gets you, he'll have you in the headlock. Whereas the other DJs I meet are like, "Oh, nice to meet you," and I'm like, "We've met 100 times." So like, Dan's an amazing guy. He's hilarious. He's funny, and he just knows. He's playing everywhere on the island.
Yeah.
But when he plays, I've seen him play everywhere in New York, Miami, here. It's just he just knows the shit. I love the Camel Fat Boys, but that's a completely different sound.
I love, they're great.
Yeah,
I went to see them
I really
in
like
Wembley.
going to their events, and then obviously Carl Cox. I've seen him more times than I've probably seen my mum this year or the last few years, and I can listen to anything. You can put me into one of the EDM nights and have a wicked time, but also David Morales, that kind of.
He's a staple for the diet for the island, isn't he?
Yeah. I like his nights at Pikes. That's probably. Yeah, that type of. I don't really have a single one, but that sort of.
Yeah, we get the gist.
Caliber of DJ.
And future, what's the plans? Just carry on what you're doing with the pods and the vlogs and.
I've been saying I want to get back to doing daily content every day, and it's a tough gig. But I think maybe not the drinking and just focus on solo just content for the next 4 or 5 months or whatever months are left, and see where I'm at. I don't mean like I'm struggling with drinking. I just mean like 2 beers and it's like enough to lose interest. The World Cup's on tonight. I'll go down to watch it.
Yeah, it's easily done. Yeah.
And then you're
sidetracked.
Yeah. Whereas if you don't have that sort of drink in your head, you're like, right, content.
Yeah.
Well, the way I do it is there's no space.
Yeah.
I'm filming every day and there's nothing fake. So your whole day becomes that. Then maybe you're with your girlfriend and you don't want to have the camera, and it's hard to get into it. But once you get into it, I'd like to do a bit more like documentary style, touch on issues that are actually.
I was going to ask, is there any sort of content that you haven't yet covered that you want to really?
Oh, loads. I mean, I've done like on YouTube. I've done like 700 videos. I don't think I've done anything about health and wellness and yoga and all that.
Really?
There's loads of that here.
I know quite a few people
retreats
here.
and everything, isn't there?
I'm speaking to a few different people. I think the problem is now that I'm hitting in the millions, and I'm being viewed by a lot of a lot of people are watching my content, so it's like you're pushing into the boundaries of, if I start making videos, it's actually hitting people, and now it's coming back. So the topics I need to be careful with because it's a small island. You know, there's a lot of issues that I'd like to talk about that maybe I shouldn't talk about. But
there's always politics on this island. There's always politics. Yeah. I mean, but the tourists they don't see that side of it, but there's a lot going on. I know, you know what I mean. There's a lot of people who want to do videos with me and talk about certain things, which are great ideas, but if I was coming in from a different island or coming into Ibiza to make the content and getting out, I need to be. I'm not scared, but I'm thinking. You don't want to upset people too much, do you?
Yeah, because it'll burn bridges.
You don't want to burn bridges.
I'm not saying I'm going to be like Donald McIntyre or whatever his name is, or like you know, that type of content. But there's issues that need to be talked about.
If you do start doing that, less people talk to you.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
No, I wouldn't be. I just things like problems with the situation with water.
Listen, Martin Makepeace. I mean, for instance, he's sort of a politician-y kind of guy, isn't he? And he brings that stuff up on the podcast. They talk about stuff like that, things that are not maybe going right on the island.
Yeah, well, like political issues,
You know, things from the roads, how many cars on the road. You know, they talk. You know, you can talk about it.
I've spoken on their podcast quite a bit.
You can talk about things, you know, and I think that sometimes some things have to be said.
Yeah.
You know, I had a whinge earlier with Jason By. I said, you know, what's wrong with all these promoters these days? Don't they know how to do decent artwork instead of putting a mugshot of a DJ? It's so boring. It really is so boring. And I mean, it's one of my only pet hates, really. I mean, but you know, pull your finger out, promoters. You know, actually create some artwork with a DJ on it. You know what I mean?
It's crazy as well. Like you look at some of the billboards, and I'm like,
they're so
why
boring.
is that not just a picture of the club in full glory?
Yeah,
it's just like big.
At least have a DJ in the middle set with a bit of artwork with it. You know, pull your finger.
They always look like they have a sore neck as well.
Well, they just looks like a mugshot. It looks like a mugshot of most of them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised they actually go, yeah, that's all right.
And then the smaller posters now, they all look the same because of AI. You know, if you go to the bars or the restaurants, it's like live football, and I'm like, that poster looks like that poster looks like that poster. Yeah. But it is what it is. But yeah, some of the.
In the future, I'll be back and there'll be artwork again.
Yeah.
You know,
I like the marketing from Amnesia this year. Like, it's like obviously it's to celebrate the 50 years of dance.
It's a special year for them. 50 years of Amnesia is a long time.
It's like best nights you don't remember and things like that. It's like just don't vote for us, just dance.
The Amnesia have always had a cool logo with a triangle, and you know, it's always been a cool club. I mean, I remember buying. I found out it was actually Ulysses. He made those T-shirts. A black T-shirt with a white. I mean, they had the writing Amnesia around the neck. Classic T-shirt. You know, it was the imagery of it, sort of Ibiza back then.
I think it's with you, Al, because you're an artist. You see it from a very specific lens. So
Al's
also known for his artwork. So
I'm just saying. If you're a promoter, the part of the promotion is offering more than you're offering visuals, aren't you? It's not just the sound; it's the visuals as well. You know.
I see what you mean. No, I noticed it all. It's all just
generic. I would call it.
But I guess that might resonate with the people because they are popular and they need to see that. I don't know.
Yeah. I just want them to try a bit harder. That's all. That's my only pet hate at the moment. But Wayne, Dwayne, sorry. The reason why we're here today is to induct you into our Ibiza Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so this is the whole reason for you coming today, and you do a great job, mate.
Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work.
That's amazing.
And there you go.
I'll put it next to all my other awards. I was good at like five-a-side. No, I wasn't good, but I have one from when I was a kid when I played five-a-side. But I don't think I've got many awards. Honestly, that's amazing just to be put inside with all these people who I kind of looked up to.
And a part of being a part of the Hall of Fame, you get to say, you know, if there's someone you think deserves one, because we don't know everybody, and this island's there's a lot of people here. Think about it, and if there's people you want to put forwards,
I can't think off the top of my head, but I'll
know lots of DJs, you know lots of people have done their time on the island, they've done the work and put the effort in to make this island what it is, you know.
Yeah, it's nice to be recognised because all the views are there, millions of people. I can't walk down the street and you don't get as much as a thank you from most people in Ibiza, apart from the people who view the content.
No, this is a thank you.
I appreciate it. It really does mean a lot. It's cool.
Yeah, Absolutely.
Just thinking where I can put it. The cat will love that.
Lovely.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
You're welcome. So that's all from us at the Ibiza Hall of Fame podcast. If you've liked this podcast, remember to like, subscribe, and follow us on all of our platforms. See you soon.